we watch through the next couple of clips that I'm going to show you here on today's video, I just want to have you guys ask yourself a question. What is a good guy? With me, honestly, if you want my answer before we get into these clips, if you want my answer is that a good guy is just an average guy. Whenever women say that, you know, he's a good guy or he's a good man, basically what they're saying is that he is completely average.
It doesn't have to be horrible for you to justify why you want to leave. A lot of my life was in a pretty good place. I had a great career that I was thriving in. I had friends. I took care of myself. My kids were doing okay. But I was not happy in my marriage. And I want to speak to the woman who is married to a good guy. He's a good provider. He's a good dad. He does what he's told. You're not happy. It took me a long time for me to finally be honest with myself that it didn't matter that he was a good guy. You do not need to be in an abusive, awful, horrible relationship for you to justify why you want to choose yourself and to justify leaving.
You know, and all we can do is pray for her, but still, this is.
Now, when women say choose yourself, a lot of times they'll make videos and they'll say, oh, I want to choose myself this time around. I've been married for 20 something years and I want to choose myself. I've never put myself first. This is how selfish some of these women can be. They will put, you know, and it's a joke at this point where you'll say, you know, the man will sacrifice himself for his family and then the woman will sacrifice her family for herself. And look, here we go. It's not a joke anymore. This is happening. This is a self-proclaimed relationship coach. Like, what relationship are you trying to build where you're talking people into getting a divorce just because? just because you want to do something different. Oh, it's Wednesday. Let me go get some papers from my lawyer. I'll be back.
It never was supposed to be. Why isn't it possible? It's just not. Why not, you stupid bastard?
I know it is brutally hard. It is brutally hard. And I had to find support in order for me to ultimately file for divorce and move on with my life. The first thing I'm going to encourage you to do if you are in a situation like I was in is to download my free journal and start to get in touch with yourself and to start to have an honest conversation with you. This is where it all begins. Once I did this, and once I really started to look in the mirror and tell myself the truth, I was able to make some very empowered changes. And 3 years later, my life is unrecognizable to where it was before. Download my free journal. Reach out to me for a free consult if you need some support. It's not easy to make these changes and to choose yourself, but if you don't do it now, when are you going to do it?
Or, here's another idea that's going to be very controversial. You could shut the up.
You guys, just get her free journal, okay? Have the free meeting, and then after that, you just have to. It's just, you know, $299 a year, and she will help you emotionally prepare for divorcing the good woman. And I wonder if a man can call her and get advice on divorcing the good woman in his life. Very interesting question. This is the advice that these relationship gurus are giving out, where it's, you know, hey, take your 25-year marriage and toss it. Or better yet, hey, you just got married, you're 23 years old and you're pregnant. You know what? You need more. You don't need him. You need to choose yourself. You need to choose yourself. Hot girl summers, Miami vacations, hanging out in the streets, meeting up with Chad and Tyrone. You need to choose yourself in these dire times. This is what the relationship gurus are telling women. Just to, hey, don't worry about a relationship. And hey, you don't need to be, attacked by anyone in your life in order to go to a lawyer and, split up a family. You don't need a reason. You just have to want to do it for yourself. That's the reason. Oh no, you've been married for 25 years. Why did you two get divorced? Oh, I, wanted to be a 304, hanging out. Can you imagine getting divorced at 50 and then heading back to the street?
I love the pain because the pain is the truth. The hurt is the truth.
You're the one initiating divorce, but you feel guilty as hell because he's a good guy. There isn't any big reason. He didn't cheat on you. He didn't steal from you. He's not beating you. He's a good guy, and you feel like shit because you know you need to divorce. You know you're not happy, and it's the right thing. But yeah, it's keeping you from actually pulling the trigger because you feel so guilty. I want to talk about this again. I talk about this a lot, and I just feel as though I need to keep reinforcing this message because I know that you need to hear this. You are not doing anything wrong by asking for a divorce. You are not doing anything wrong by saying, my happiness lies in a different path. But what you are doing is you are doing the right thing. Brene Brown says, clear is kind. And if you stay because you feel guilty, you are not being clear and you are not being kind. Not only are you robbing yourself of a chance at happiness, but you're robbing him at his chance for happiness too.
Welcome to hell, mother.
Let's just listen to what this woman is saying here. This is another relationship woman. Look, TikTok is full of these, okay? It is full of these women that are making videos over and over about this subject. Now, I thought it was just kind of like a meme, like, oh, I'm getting a divorce, but I'm divorcing the good guy, so it's all a big joke. No, this is how a lot of women think of marriage. It's just something that just can be tossed aside whenever you feel like it for any reason at all. Through no fault divorce, you can legally do this and without repercussions. And in 99.9% of cases, if there's kids involved, you're getting the woman's getting child support, you're getting robbed. And if kids aren't involved and she didn't work, you're paying alimony. You're on the hook for that money. And she's going to get that money. She's getting that money. Okay. Now you're probably saying, oh, what about a prenup? Prenups exist, dumbass. Prenups get thrown out every single day. Okay. Judges wipe their asses with prenups. Okay. All the woman has to say is that it was signed under duress. It was signed with some veiled threat, and it gets tossed aside like yesterday's Tampax. Happens all too often. And you know what? You can look, just do a search, and it has lawyers explaining to you why prenuptials, these prenup agreements, do not, like, it doesn't matter either way. Prenup, in a lot of cases, child support still going to happen, alimony still going to happen. Let's continue.
Because by staying, even though you want to leave, you are misleading him and you're keeping him from finding the happy, healthy relationship that he deserves as well. So don't kid yourself that by staying, you're doing the kind thing, because you're in your heart, you're not there, you're not committed anymore, you're not in love anymore. It's time for you to go. So number one, you're not doing anything wrong. So the guilt you're feeling is actually not guilt, okay? Because guilt means you're doing something wrong, but you're not doing something wrong. And therefore, it's not guilt you're feeling. It's the discomfort of making a choice that you know is going to be hard for somebody else, and it's the choice that he doesn't want. It's the discomfort of making a choice that is in alignment with your truth and with your values and what you know is right for you. You're uncomfortable about that because you know that it's going to be hard for him. Okay? So reframe it from guilt to discomfort. That's going to help you get out of that trap. And number two, remind yourself that clear is kind. And when you are clear with yourself and you're clear with him, that is the kindest thing to do. Doesn't mean it's easy, but it is the kindest thing you can do.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Okay, I will never tell any man to get married. I think marriage is the biggest mistake for a guy to do. Then you have situations like this where women are talking about marriage like it's some sort of day at the park. Like, oh yeah, well, we can just, fold this blanket up and leave. I don't want to be here anymore. No, a marriage is a commitment. Okay, it's a commitment. You take vows. You're in front of whatever religion you are, you're in front of that person, and they have their book. It's very ceremonial, and you're spitting in the face of all of the traditions of marriage. It just sort of, this is my biggest gripe that I have with marriage, is that women just don't even care anymore. They don't. They use it as a quick payday. They use it as some sort of game, because as soon as you get married, she's not interested anymore. But let me know if you've ever been married and been divorced and are never going to get married again, or if you've never been married at all and refuse to ever get married. Hit the like button on this video. Let's see how many guys out there are just saying, you know what, marriage, it's useless. It's worthless to a man. Okay. It only benefits women at the expense of the man. And there is nothing a man can gain from marriage that he can't get in just a relationship. There's absolutely nothing. Okay. A man puts forth that effort every single time. The only thing that happens whenever a man gets married to a woman is the woman starts to withdraw herself from the bedroom, from doing pretty much anything for the man in a lot of cases. And then the men, it has been a joke on TV and internet for a while, but you have the henpecked husband that is just kind of like there, he's always it just looks like every day is the worst day for him. Okay. And that's not far from the truth. That is not far from the truth at all. That's why those shows exist. That's why that stereotype exists of the guy who's he's been down and out with his wife. She has been putting him through the ringer. It's not a joke anymore. It actually happens. These women are miserable in these marriages. And something interesting in this video is whenever she said that you leaving him will allow him to find his person that he wants to be. He wouldn't have asked you to marry him if he didn't want to be with you. He's so low, some of these women are. They have no idea. And this is women giving advice. This is advice to other women.
Men are losing their mind over a recent video that I made explaining how you leaving a good guy doesn't make you a bad person. Your spouse doesn't have to be abusive in order for your feelings of wanting to leave to be valid. There are dozens of reasons why marriages fall apart, and a lot of them have nothing to do with somebody being a bad person. Here are some examples. Financial problems, growing apart, communication issues, addiction, too much arguing, lack of emotional or physical intimacy, one spouse just isn't carrying their weight in the marriage, maybe you're married too young or for the wrong reasons, opposing values or lack of shared interests, or maybe you just live like platonic roommates. Those are all very common reasons for divorce, and it doesn't make you or your spouse a bad person.
It's time to stop. It's time to stop, okay? No more.
I have a pretty hot take, I think. I'm just going to go ahead and prepare you guys. But I think that if a man is going to get into marriage, I think he's doing it with intent to spend the rest of his life with this other person. All of those things she's listed right there can be worked through in a relationship, in a marriage. Okay. But what you'll see a lot, especially now in modern times, is women just don't even want to try. They just want to give up on that one and then try something new, because there's always something new around the corner for women. For 99% of women, they can turn the corner and there's that dude that they've been keeping in the DMs, or there's the guy she just met at the gym, or there's the guy that she ran into at the supermarket that she dated a few years back, and he's single again too. I mean, there's so many options for these women. So there is evidence that this is how they see relationships. They see them as disposable. If they're not getting what they need in that moment, well, one of her first, reasons for divorce, she said in the very beginning, was money. That was the very first one she said. And hey, guess what? If you're not doing good financially, because you took an oath for richer or for poorer, but not anymore. If you're losing some of that money, guess what? You're gonna be losing your lady too, because she's gonna be trying to get to the dude with the money. And I would say that I'm wrong, but just look online, and it's happening. It's happening everywhere. They're divorcing the good guys to be with the bad guys. And then, hey, look, it all wraps back around because as soon as they start hitting that wonderful age that we all know what that age is, I'm not going to say it out loud, but you know what I'm talking about. Once they hit that age, they're back on TikTok complaining. Where are all the men at? Where are all the good guys at? I'm ready now. You can't make this stuff up. But let me know what you guys think. That's going to be the end of today's video. Like the video, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Rat Boy out.